Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News. And our special guest today is Helen Sandow. You're a visual artist. And people go, well, what does that quite mean, a visual artist?
Truthfully, I don't know what it means as a visual. All art is visual. Most art is visual. Not all, but it's simple, fun art for me.
And we're going to show some pictures in a little bit. But first, let's talk about your book.
Okay.
All right. Tell us about the book.
I had made individual pictures for many years, paintings. I started off doing serious artwork, and over the years, I won the Xavier Cortada Award for my serious art. I sold my serious art different places, and I got tired of it. And for years before, 20 years before, I made miniatures. And I was deeply involved in miniatures. I belonged to the National Association of Miniature Enthusiasts. I made 650 dresses for their name convention.
So Helen, tell us, what size were those?
Miniature, 1/10 scale.
So like this big. Oh, here they are right here. And you created that.
I created it. It came out of my head. I made 650.
And you designed it.
I designed it. I built it. I had a friend who put the netting on the neck.
Our producer is Rochelle over here. She's sort of stylish herself. So, Rochelle, isn't this amazing what she's done here?
Over the years, because I was online, I was went to shows, and from what I understand, some of my dresses, I made thousands because I sold them at shows, are in the Miniature Museum of Taiwan. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard.
Okay, so let's flip through a couple pages here. So tell us about the book and the storyline here.
Well, it started off with me making these paintings. I have to show you these paintings because they really illustrate what I started. This is my very first miniature that miniature. Goes to show you how screwed up I am. Painting that I made. But what I did, in order to create a little bit of depth to the painting, I said, I got to be able to merge my knowledge of miniatures with my knowledge of paintings. So I had in the house, I had some of these little dishes left over from my miniature days.
Let's describe to people. This is about 2 inches, right?
It's 2 inches.
It's 2 inches.
Yes.
And there are, besides the painting there, across the bottom and on the top, there are
broken miniature dishes.
All right.
Which I deliberately broke because this idiom is about a bull in a china shop.
Tell us what it says here.
Bull in a china shop. And it says, it makes the explanation very simple of what a bull in a china shop is. What the definition or the idiom is.
So the people, if they can't see it, so on each of the hooves of the bull, there's dishes that are broken.
I've got broken dishes under his feet. The tail is made from coconut fiber. I hung a cup off his ear just to lend some fun to these idioms.
Off his horn.
Off his horn. And it says, a person who breaks things or often makes mistakes or causes damage in situations that require careful thinking or behavior. That's the definition. But for a kid, they don't understand idioms. They probably have heard it's raining cats and dogs. Almost every kid. But most.
Do we know where that came from? It's raining cats and dogs?
Yes, it's in, I don't know if it, no, I didn't put that. Right. But in the back of my book is the etymology of these idioms. So it tells you where the idioms came from, the ones that I am doing. That's a contest. Go one more. There's a couple of pages, and they tell you where they come from, because that's an important thing for somebody to know. They're not just words. They are explanations, and some of them are hundreds of years old.
And one of the things that we recognize is words matter.
Sure they do.
And how we put them together, right? And how we say them, and how we're emphatic on one and our intonation is different. And so you've been able to capture that in here. And let me just
Go ahead.
So when I'm looking through here, you have in your table of contents, you have walking on eggshells between a rock and a hard place, suck it up, buttercup, making a beeline, a bull in a china shop, fishing for a compliment. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So we wonder all those things that we have learned. Most of these things we probably have known for 50 years.
Sure.
And so often we don't know where they come from.
Exactly.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
That's my favorite one, because when I did the painting, and that's the one that's here, if you look, and I put a little note in each one of these paintings, there's a description of what I put into the painting. This one says I put a straw. But as I was doing the painting, I dripped some paint at the bottom. And I put a note in the book that says, look at his hump, because it fell. Because I had dripped some paint on it. I wanted to correct it because I loved the guy's face.
Right.
That's him.
All right. So that's perfect. Thank you, Tommy, for doing that. Perfect timing. My God, we were listening there. So here you have this in the book. You sort of describe it, and here it is again. Again, this is about 2 inches thick, and so you did the drawing, and then you added onto it the straw that broke the camel's back.
Because part of the fun of doing these, because these came before the book, was finding the elements that went into the paintings. That was the most fun part. I'd be out walking, looking on the street for a coconut fiber. I have a lot of paintings. He has a little bit of hair, coconut fiber. But I looked for elements or learned how to make elements. There's one in the front of the book that's got the gecko, and it says between a rock and a hard place.
So let's talk about that. Where did that come from?
Well, I've always used that. I use idioms all the time when I speak. And in the when I was making the gecko, I looked for funny, cartoony drawings. And between a rock and a hard place, I think it's coming up if you just flip the pages. I couldn't put a rock in the painting because it would be too heavy to hang on a wall. So what I did is I took a piece of styrofoam, and again, because of my miniature skills, I knew how to make a rock. A piece of styrofoam looked like a rock. And I couldn't put a pipe in the painting because, again, that would be too heavy. So I took a piece of PVC and painted it black. So it's between my version of between a rock and a hard place.
It's amazing how these things live on for generations and generations.
They do.
So inquiring minds want to know, did you first do that and then you created the book?
Yes.
You did those over there, and
Yes.
you said, how can I make this on another medium? So you said, okay, we're going to put it into...
Exactly. I must have done the walking on eggshells 5 times because I'd go to shows and people would buy it. I would go down to the Keys, and there's this...
Here it is, walking on eggshells.
That's it. I've done that 5 times.
So you have this chicken.
They're always different because it's just, I keep the shape of it, but I never color them the same way.
So who's the audience for this?
Kids and parents. So many people don't really know what an idiom is, even though they might use, walking on eggshells or bull in a china shop. But I'm trying to relate to the kids. So number one, it gets into their vocabulary. They understand what an idiom is and how they can use it. And the fun part, in order to really capture the kids, there's a contest that I put in the back of the book. There's a challenge so the kids can make their own idioms. They can follow one of mine. And once a month, I'm going to give a book to a school library.
Okay. Now, let me read this right here. So it says, let the cat out of the bag. We use that frequently.
Often.
And so you said, allowing something hidden or kept secret to be revealed.
That's what that idiom means.
So I like this. Suck it up, buttercup. Really means get over it or deal with it.
There are a lot of people who refuse to suck it up.
Right. So, and you added here, I added a real plastic straw in the original watercolor. The hair and the tail are made of coconut fibers. So we have two of the, one of these right here. So are each of the things that are in here you've made?
Yes.
Over here?
Yes.
Incredible.
Absolutely. And
you have a full-time job on top of this.
No, I'm retired. Okay. Other than making the book.
Let's talk about your drive to do this. What was inside you when you said I want to start doing this? And when was that?
I love working with my hands. I took a woodworking class at Palmetto Senior High, and I broke the
Go Panthers.
Yeah, I broke his bandsaw, but I made a beautiful box for my son. I took magic classes at Palmetto Senior. I like to learn. I love working with my hands. And the miniatures gave me such a fabulous outlet in my life to be creative, because this is my own concept. The buildings are...
We're going to go over this in a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about the book.
Okay.
So what was in your brain? You said, I'm going to write a book.
Because the idioms, again, I use them almost daily, the way I talk. And more people should enjoy than the people who have the original paintings. And I figured what better way than put it together in a book.
So when you had that idea, right, these were all but done over here.
Yes.
From the time you said, I want to do that, I want to put together a book. Tell us about the process and mindset about how you created it in your brain first and how you put together the pieces to create this book.
Well, the first thing I did was, after I had the paintings, I took pictures of all my paintings, and some I sold and didn't want to bother to reproduce, so I just took my paintings. And then, in order to publish it, you need somebody to write a foreword. So I went online, and I found a fabulous guy named Dr. John Leontis from Florida State University. And I wrote him a letter because I found him on the internet. I wrote him an email, told him what I'm doing. Would he be willing to write a foreword for me? And I sent him maybe 4 paintings by email. And he says he'd be delighted. And he wrote the most fabulous. If you read it, I don't think there's a finer foreword that was written. And I kept gathering all my paintings and taking pictures of them. And then I said, I wish I could get to a larger audience than the ones who bought my paintings. So I looked around, and my son had a connection with a publisher. And I sent the book to the publisher, and they fell in love with it and said, we'll do it. And 2 years later, it's done. It's on Amazon. It's at some Barnes & Nobles. It's at some Walmart.
So you already had most of the content here.
Yeah.
Because you had already created the essence of it.
I've got 20 more at home.
20 more
paintings,
what?
Original paintings.
Is there another book in your...
Well, Dr. Leontis said to me, get busy and do a second one. And I have the material to do it, but I got to get this one moving
There's no
first.
First one's by accident, second one's on purpose.
That's going to be right.
All right, so we wish you lots of good luck and continue to do that.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this right here. This is a photograph in your house.
In the family room of my house.
Family room. And there are 6 would look like paintings, but they're really not. Tell us what these are.
They are, I call them room boxes. Some people call them dioramas. They're miniature room boxes.
Right. So these are 2 feet wide and 2 feet deep.
Yes.
So was it concrete there or wood?
After Hurricane Andrew, we had jalousie windows there, and they all fell down.
Right.
We had to build back up the wall, and I had these miniatures. I had 1 or 2 laying around, aside from the many other miniatures that were scattered all over the house. And my husband said, "Let's build a false wall." So we built the wall, got the wall to be electrified, and all my miniatures are, these 6 are in the wall.
So there's a 2 feet wide, 2 feet deep, framed. But inside these, you built the things that are in
I
that.
built 90% of what is in those boxes.
So it's just incredible. And when the photograph, you really have to put your brain in the right place. Say, no, this is sort of an illusion in the sense,
Yes.
because it looks like just a painting that's up there.
No, it's three-dimensional. In the lower right, that was the first box I did.
This one?
Yes. There's a vase of flowers that are sitting on the table. It's hard to see there. It's about that tall. And I made every one. It was a whole day class to learn how to make each flower.
So you went to school to learn how to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And when did you first start to go to class to learn how to do this?
2016, 2015.
Wow. So in here again, 2 by 2 by approximately 2, and then you have all these things that are actually 3-dimensional miniature things there, and each one is lit up by low intensity light.
Yes.
Right.
And I learned to electrify them. That
Okay.
was part of the classes.
Okay, and this is a chair there.
That's my real chair.
That's for big.
I'm surprised the dog or the cat is not on it.
For big people. Okay, let's look at this one right here. Tell us about this.
That is one of the boxes that I made. And these classes were given by a lady named Brooke Tucker. Her dad was very famous actor Forrest Tucker. And she gave classes, and for my anniversary every year, my husband gave me the class because it's intense. It's a 12-hour day. I had to go to the other side of Florida to take the class, took a hotel room, and that's where I learned to make the boxes. The box was a little couture store that I learned how to make the revolving door and the canopy. I said, what am I going to put in the box? I said, I don't know. I decided on miniature dresses.
So, if you will, folks, this is like a fish aquarium in the wall.
Yes.
Okay. Is there glass on the front of each one of these?
Yes.
There's glass on the front there.
Yeah, because they'd be filthy dirty, and I can remove them. I can remove the electricity and take the boxes. So I started to make the dresses, and everybody liked the dresses. Well, I must have sold 1,000 dresses over many years. And in
Dresses like this here.
Dresses like this.
And that's about 4 inches, 5 inches?
Yeah, it's scale. And this dress I made 650 for the National Association of Miniature Enthusiasts in 2007. Their theme was Hollywood. You want to hear the whole story about this?
No, but
you got time? Because I got a whole story.
I'm sure you do. This is incredible. I mean, when you look at this, and as we look at this, you think your eyes are playing tricks on you because it's not flat. Right?
No, it's not.
And you look at it and you go, why am I seeing it different? Because if it was just here and you didn't say anything, we'd go, why does this look so real?
A lot of people think it's from afar. It looks like a painting. But all I do is flip on the light, and they all light at once. And people come over and they could stand in front of each box.
So you're a local artist. You live down the street from here.
Yes.
Would you care to tell people what city you live in?
Palmetto Bay.
Yay, Palmetto Bay.
I don't know about yay. Too much traffic.
Oh, sorry, Mayor. All right.
She's going to hate me.
Let's see if they can do something about it. Okay. So you've been recognized for some of your work. Tell us about what you've been recognized for.
When I was doing serious paintings, Palmetto Bay graciously allowed me to exhibit them where I had a lot of sales. And the mayor nominated me for the Xavier Cortada Award. And I won the award. It was the first one that they did. And he wasn't there personally when I was presented, but he did a video. And I was very proud to receive that. And I kept serious paintings. I did a lot of animals. As a matter of fact, my Jeep is a 2010 Jeep Wrangler is covered with all my paintings.
Is it here?
Yes.
Outside?
Yes.
Maybe Tommy or Rachel will get a picture of it before she leaves. And maybe we get a shot right outside that.
Sure.
So people can find you on Instagram at Watercolors by Helen, and then also Helen Helen's Idioms. They can find that.
It's Helen's Idioms.
Helen's Idioms. Oh, so congratulations on that. So let's look down the road for a couple of years. What do you got going on in your head?
Probably something entirely different, because the rabbi at Chabad of Palmetto Bay, Rabbi Gansberg, I had met with him just recently. And he told me there's 42 steps, evolutions in a person's life. That's what Jewish mysticism says, that there are 42. I think I'm on 37. I'm not quite at 42 yet, because that's the end. So there's more to come. I have no idea what it's going to be.
My regards to the rabbi. We've had a few conversations with him. He's from Italy, by the way.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Always makes me smile.
Yes.
All right, makes me laugh. And I like him very much. And we're going to see you soon, Rabbi. Really? Yes. All right. So tell us about your first 25 years.
We emigrated from Canada. My husband and my two sons, we emigrated from Canada in 1977. And my husband started printing. He was in printing in Canada. He was actually in pre-press, where he was a fabulous pre-press. That's a lot of film work to get jobs ready for a press. So I've always known graphics and whatever. And in 87, I wanted to do art, graphics, but I couldn't paint a lick and I couldn't do the work myself. But I sure could sell. I had customers like American Express, the government of the Bahamas.
What customers that they purchase what from you?
Printing and graphics.
Okay.
I did some amazing work and very proud, dealt with Intercontinental Hotels, more than one. And I sold the business in 97. I retired. So what am I going to do? I'm not one to be idle, so I took the woodworking class and the cake baking class.
Where does that come from, your desire to do more?
I have no idea, because both my parents were unlike me. I have a brother who's a phenomenal sculptor with wood, making birds. He's fabulous. But he moved to Czechoslovakia.
Just decided to go from Canada.
His wife left Canada and with him, and they went back to Czechoslovakia. So he's happy there. And I should have brought one of his carvings, because I have an owl that you would say it's real. He was fabulous. Only the two of us. My parents never lifted a finger to do any kind of art. But my brother and I somehow did it. Maybe it was from my grandmother. I don't know. She sewed.
All right. So again, let's look at the next 5 years. You say you have another book in the works in your brain. In your brain,
it's in my brain. Whether I'll go through, this one needs to be a success. And really, what I was trying, the emphasis, what I would like to do, is to get this into schools. Let me tell you what I did. 3 weeks ago, I went up to the Hamptons, and I brought a box of books with me. And I went to every elementary school in the Hamptons and brought them a book.
This book.
This book. Give it to the principal, give it to the art teacher, whoever could use the book. I got a call from one of the principals thanking me for the book, because I left a little note. One of the people from Wainscott School, a fabulous little school in the Hamptons, tried to drag me into the class to talk about the book, but I didn't have the time. So to me, getting these books into, and it's not because of profit, I want the books to get into the schools so the kids learn and laugh. When I did my presentation at the Hampton Library 2 weeks ago, the kids were there laughing, enjoying.
Hampton Library where?
Hampton Library in the Hamptons.
Okay.
I'm going back to the East Hampton Library, the Children's Fair, to sign these books. So I guess some people like what I do.
So what is it like when somebody buys your book or reads it or comments on it, and as well as your art? What's it like for you personally?
A thrill. I like the idea that people understand my humor, because that's what the book is all about. I don't want to be... I had many years of very hard work. I had a husband who was dearly loved, but was ill for many years. And I guess I use these as escapes for fun. I want people to laugh and smile. And I think I've accomplished it in my paintings.
But what kind of work did you do before?
I owned a graphics.
I'm sorry. So you went from there, graphics, people would hire you to do stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I was a salesperson. I sold printing.
Yes. So in here, this was not just internal, but you were able to express it like this for a different audience in the sense that here, let's do a little teaching, a little learning, a little love with that. Because when you look at that, and that again is a multicolored camo with a broken back, all right, or the hump is down, all right,
Exactly.
and a broken straw. It's really exceptional that you were able to create that. I'm curious for people that are creators, whether you're a writer or a painter or a sculptor, how do you figure that out?
Because I think of the idiom that I'm going after it, and it doesn't matter. I just did my niece. Her daughter. She always says, "Oh, she lands in a pat of butter." That's their South African. That's their idiom. I got to make one for her. So I'm thinking, well, up at the art store Blix, they had a pad of paper that looked like a stick of butter. And I took it, I glued it on to the paper, I painted around it, and I made a rear end out of not Fimo, Sculpey, which is a clay that you could bake, painted it and stuck it on top of the melting butter. And as soon as she looked at it, she knew the idiom. She's the one who told me the idiom. I didn't dream it up.
So that art that you created, I think about the artist at Art Basel a couple of years ago when he got a piece of Scotch tape and he Scotch tape up the banana. And it's like, how? And all of a sudden we're looking at it differently because it's displayed differently because it affects the different parts of the brain. So tell us about when you have that good feeling. Tell us what happens to you physically when somebody's I loved your book.
Euphoric, because they get me, and I guess that's probably the thing. They have to, when I sold them, I stood beside the racks wherever art show I was at, and I sold them, and they'd look at it and they'd laugh, and it's not fabulous. It's not a work of art, but it's my thoughts and feelings that go into making these idioms.
So sometimes people refer to graffiti in the sense of like it's all terrible. It's not.
No, it isn't.
It's just where they put it might be the problem.
Yes.
And so you look at it and you see these people who are so creative and they demonstrate that as you have with here. I want to go make sure I understand. That was your idea. You wrote this up there. You created this multicolor. How are your eyes? You good with color? You colorblind anywhere?
No.
Okay.
I have good color.
All right.
And I understand what colors work well together.
And you know that because of your years in the field, right? To do that. So Helen, thank you very much for being here. We got 2 minutes left. In that 2 minutes,
thank you for having me.
I'd like you to talk about some of the people that have helped you on your way, whether they're alive or they're gone. You ready? I want you to look right into camera. What camera should she look into? There we go. Which one is it? The center one? Straight ahead. Okay. There you go. Okay. This one right here. Helen, look right over there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the first and foremost one was my husband of 60 years. We were married almost 60 years. He was a great husband, a great friend, and he was missed. And he will be missed forever. And the other one I want to thank is my 2 sons. I've got an older son named Adam, an entrepreneur, and I have a younger son who's a crab fisherman with his own boat and thousands of traps, and 6 grandchildren. And my kids, and I wrote in the front of that book, my kids always would never say anything bad about my work, that it stank, but I knew some of them stank, but they always said it was good. So they were my biggest supporters with my husband. And then along the way, I've had lots of people You know, tell me that the work is good and give me encouragement. Neighbors, the rabbi, people in that I'm close to, encourage me to do these things. So I'm grateful for everybody.
So as we get ready to wrap up, if you don't mind, I'm going to read something that you have in the front here. This is written by you, dedicated to my husband of 60 years, Lynn, and my sons, Adam and Jeffrey, who believed that every art endeavor I undertook was brilliantly executed, even when I knew some stank. Never give up, never, never, never.
That's my philosophy, never give up.
By the way, who's the one that said that?
Churchill.
Yes. Just for those folks that didn't
I
know
had that pinned to the wall over my Xerox machine.
Helen, thank you so much. Again, people can find you on Instagram, or they can hunt you down over at Palmetto Bay.
Right.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And again, folks, thank you for joining us. Remember, take care of yourselves and your family. Give them a hug today. Bye now.